Hi, Stamper fans. Welcome to another Make It Monday. Thank you so much for being here, whether you're watching live on Facebook or if you're catching the replay on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. I am Nan Gerlitz, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Bloomington, Illinois, and I am here to help you connect with your people, whether that's gathering to stamp together and craft together, or you making handmade items to share with them. It's all about making and deepening those connections. So let's get to it. All right, so first up, as always, we have Friday night Stampin' results, and you all love a cute critter just as much as we do. So the Dino card won, and that was made by Stamper Man Russ. Woohoo! So I had 2 in a row, if you're counting. Before that, he had 4 in a row, and now he's back in the leaderboard. So, um, I tried a little something different, quite honestly. This is not my normal kind of card, but it is embossed, like dry embossed, and then I watercolored inside the flowers. I tried a couple of different things. I will say it looks better in person than it did on camera. So, yay you! So if you saw my post this morning, I was joking that these colors reminded me of like McDonald's. But hey, they do their brand research, right, before they pick their colors. So clearly they were onto something, and so was Russ. So congratulations, honey. Okay. I have a couple of things that I want to mention before we get to the main event, which will be these fabulous cards. But first of all, the next free class is the 4th Saturday of the month. So that is June 28th here in Bloomington. So if you are local or if you're going to be in the area, let me know. You can attend up to 3 classes free. Okay. The next thing is right now going on is our virtual album retreat. This is a new event for Stampin' Up! And we have the month-by-month album retreat kit, and it is $250. And once you purchase that, you are automatically invited to a private Facebook group where a virtual event will be happening later in July. And if you cannot be live while things are going on, you'll be able to see all of the replays. So great event to attend. That works out to about $10 per 2-page spread. You're making 12 2-page spreads, January through December. So that is a really economical cost for putting together a scrapbook. All the details are on my website. So if you click the Shop With Me link, you'll see a banner for the virtual album retreat. You can get all the details and see the product right there. Hello, Penny. Hello, Joan. She says good morning. I say good evening, but I'm so glad you're here. The other thing that is happening is starting tomorrow here in the US. It's already going on where Joan is in Australia. But June 3rd, we have a BOGO starting. And this is the first time that they're doing this particular promotion, so I'm pretty excited about it. It is a suite products. So we have many suites of products that all go together, right? All coordinate. They're made to be used as a suite, but you can certainly purchase all the things individually. So I'll give you an example. This is the Kintsugi Inspirations suite of products. Let me see if there we go. So my vision here of my screen is kind of jumpy, so I'm hoping you guys are getting a more fluid version of this live. I hope it's not too jumpy for you. But the Kintsugi Inspiration suite of products has a stamp set with dies that go with it, has an embossing folder, some embellishments, and then the designer series paper. And Kintsugi, for those of you that don't know, I know I only recently read about it, is the Japanese art of when something breaks, like a vase, instead of just discarding it, they repair the cracks with gold. So like the designer paper has all this gorgeous gold leafing in between some of those cracks and things. So very cool suite. This is just one example. So starting tomorrow, you buy one suite or suite product, and you get the second one 50% off. So you can buy an entire suite and get another one 50% off, or you can buy, say, just the bundle and get another one 50% off. The 50% off is on the lower priced item, just like any other retailer. But so just so you're aware, you don't have to purchase an entire suite. You can just purchase, maybe the designer paper really caught your eye and you're going to get another one 50% off. Okay, so that is all starting tomorrow and it is a sweet deal. Get it? But I did want to point that out because this is the first time they're doing this promotion. So I want to make sure that any of you that want to take advantage of it, do take advantage of it. It goes through the end of June. And if it's successful, I'm sure they're going to bring it back. So we definitely like that. Okay, good. Looks like everybody else is viewing fine. Penny is jumpy, but that's a different story. Maybe that's why I'm having problems on my end. Okay, so on to the main event. Tonight we're doing simple cards, but we're going to make 3 of them at once. This is called Stack, Cut, and Shuffle. And I'm pretty excited about it. I just discovered it like over the weekend and I was like, oh, that's perfect for this week. So seriously, like, where has this been all my Stampin' life, especially when I'm making Christmas cards? So we are going to make all 3 of these, and you might be intimidated by this, pattern here, and you're like, oh, measuring. There's no measuring involved. It's awesome, as long as you're not picky. So let's see here. Basically, we are going to be building the top layer with, like I said, no measurements. And I'm using the Lovely Garden paper, which is the one that comes with the Thankful Garden bundle. It's part of that suite of products. So, hey, tomorrow you could get this half off. And you just want to make sure all 3 of yours, or 4, you could do that, are the same size. So mine are 1/4 inch less on both sides than my next layer, because that's going to give me some of these, in between bits, right? Okay. I'm not talking very well tonight. So let me show you. Okay, so as I said, there's no measurements. You're going to stack all 3 of your papers with the side you want up. So I decided these 3 looked really nice. That's part of what I love about our paper packs. Everything goes together. So if you just pick 3 that you like, you know that the colors are all coordinate. So, and then you just go to your trimmer. Now I've got 3 pieces here. So I want to basically cut this into 3 pieces, right? So I'm just going to make the first cut and like go wherever. Okay, we're going to put that over here. And then, I don't know, we'll just turn it and let's just go from the corner. Okay, and then we're going to keep these together as we cut them. Okay. So now that was the stack and the cut, and now comes the shuffle. So you're going to take your first kind of stack of pieces and you're going to just fan them out. 1, 2, 3. And you'll take your next stack and you're going to start with the second row. 1, 2, 3. And then you'll take your next one and you're going to start with that third row. 1, 2, 3. So now you have 3 card fronts that each have 1 of those pieces with them. Did that blow your mind? Because it blew my mind. I'm like, that is way easier than I thought these cards were going to be looking at them. I would have looked at those and gone, nope, not doing that. That's a lot of measuring. That's a lot of, geometry. Not about that. I love the fact that there's no measuring once you've got your basic layers cut. So, all right. So now we're just going to scooch these out of the way a little bit. We're going to start assembling. It's super quick and easy. I love it. So I've got basic black here. That's going to pull out the black and white. It's going to pull out some of these black highlights, and doodads in those flowers. And I am using my trusty liquid glue, so I have plenty of wiggle room when I'm assembling. So you can cut this like the same size as your other layer and just stack them all right together and have no gaps. But I really liked the way it looked with the gaps, like you had layered it, right? Like you had matted it. And it's not that hard. You just make everything 1/4 inch smaller. So we're just going to go up here. So I've just got it about 1/8 of an inch from the top and the side. And I'll take my next one, same kind of deal. The reason I like this wiggle room is because sometimes it is hard to tell if you're straight on top and sides kind of thing. So I just want to make sure that I'm lining it up with the top there and that I've got about 1/4 of an inch away from that side still, right? And then we take our bottom one. See, like I would never be able to figure out how to cut that piece, but I just made a couple of cuts and we were done. So I'm sure you guys are going to get these Christmas cards this year. You know, it's like I'm going to find some good Christmas paper and we are going to make some cards like super easy and fast. And then we can embellish the heck out of them, really. Like we can go crazy with our labels and our sentiments and all that kind of stuff. So I've literally just cut 3 of the black mats exactly the same. I've cut 3 card bases exactly the same. And I've punched 3 circles for my sentiments exactly the same. Got our next one. So the most important part, I think, is just to make sure that after you've cut it, you're kind of putting everything right where it was. You know, you put the top left in the top left and the top right in the top right, and then shuffle them out and keep them that way so you know exactly where everything's going and which parts go with which. Right? Penny, I knew you would love this one. I thought, oh, Penny's going to be like, yeah, all over this. This would be a really nice way, too, to make somebody a stack of cards, like birthday cards or all occasion cards. I think I've mentioned it before that my mom was always very tough to buy for. I mean, I'm the last of 10 kids, so by the time, yeah, you have so much designer paper, right? Don't we all? But yeah, my mom was really hard to buy for because she was like 40 when I was born. So by the time I was really buying her gifts, she had everything. She was trying to get rid of stuff, you know. she didn't want a knickknack to dust or anything. I did buy her a couple of plants, and she seemed to like those. But then I started, after I joined Stampin' Up, I got the idea to make her just a stack of birthday cards every year for like Christmas or her birthday or whatever, because she always sent birthday cards. So I thought, well, that's something she can actually use. It won't be hanging around the house because she's going to send them. So she doesn't have to dust it or anything. It was the perfect gift. And she always very much appreciated them and she always used them. So that was very nice. As a gift giver, it's always heartwarming to see somebody, you know, using the gifts or appreciating them, whatever, right? All right, so I'm going to grab my black memento pad because that's going to pull out that black cardstock as well. So I can just use that for all of my sentiments. And I grabbed the Unbounded Love stamp set because it is just full of great sentiments. So I happen to be using Happy Birthday, With Sympathy, and Just for You. But this is also a really good builder set, is what they call it. Like you can combine the love and Never Gives Up, you know, Best of Luck, Friend. You can, you know, kind of mix and match with a lot of things on here. So really good stamp set to have. We have quite a few sentiment sets like that. So I already mounted my stamps on my blocks tonight to make this easier. The nice part about stamping in a circle is that you don't really have to worry about your sentiment being straight, even though they are, because you can just tilt your circle to make it straight. And again, I kept these very simple because this week is all about simple stamping, but you could definitely zhuzh these up more. You could do different labels. You could layer them and mat them and all sorts of things. You could add more stamped images to this or ribbon or all sorts of things. So go to town. And then what I had is the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack, which comes with all 5 of these colors. You can tell the black gets used a lot. and I'm going to use it on one of them today. So, and I'm going to use the white as well, because that's the two that are going to go best with this particular color scheme. So here is a little, my punch was a little silly and didn't quite get that. This is a little technique that I've learned from quite a few other demonstrators. So if you just flip your punch out over, put a little bit of Stampin' Seal on there. And then there's a couple of ways. You can either tie a bow, or the easier way is to just lay that down, stick it down to your adhesive, loop it over here, stick it down again, loop it on that side, and bring it back. So I did not tie anything. I just used the adhesive, but it's going to look like I tied a bow behind there. Like ultimate simplicity. Nobody can tell me I can't tie bows, because I didn't tie anything. And then usually I'll place my dimensionals, if I'm using them, kind of over the twine to help hold that down. But yeah, I'm super excited about this technique, especially, like I said, with our paper packs, because our paper packs are always designed to work together. So every piece in that pack is designed to probably pair with another, and they have two sides. So even if one side is not quite your jam, usually the other side is. Like this one is, more of a geometric kind of, just a plaid instead of the floral. So you can totally get something out of there. All right, the other two, let's do some white. So same deal with this. Put a little bit of seal down. And I will say, when I started doing this, I always would get it going. I would slant it the wrong way. So for me, it's helpful to look at this and say, okay, I want the tail of that coming out here. So then I know where to start. And you know what? If you get it wrong the first time, you can just pull it right up off the adhesive and do it again. So it's a very forgiving way to do your twine. And then you can trim the ends if need be. Another way I like to use these is the edges of my dimensionals, because then I can straddle that whole line of twine and it'll hold it down really nicely. So if you've got your twine exactly where you want it, this is a good way to hold it down. The other thing I like about doing this particular layout is that if I happen to get any of this wrong, like this one looks like they're a little closer than this, right? But if you put something over where they all join, it hides all of those little imperfections, right? All right, this one we're going to do a little bit differently. Still going to put my seal down. And then I'm going to wrap this white twine around my hand a few times. And then we're going to stick it down here and start futzing with it. Very technical term. So it just kind of, it looks very haphazard, right? It looks very je ne sais quoi. And again, once I have it kind of where I want it, I can just straddle that with the edge of my dimensionals, because I use every bit of those before I toss out the backing. I'm sure I'm not the only one. A little just for you. All right. And then we are going to pull out the fresh freesia in these flowers. That's the base we're going to use for all three of these. So again, if you have kind of one color, or you can you know, I could have used black for my color or the garden green. Maybe I could have done 3 different card bases, right? Apparently my doggie who is down here has decided he doesn't want to be down here anymore. All righty. Usually he just lays on his bed and ignores everything, and I have to coax him back upstairs when it's time to go upstairs. There. His brother came to the rescue. His people brother. Good thing I have more Stamp and Seal coming. I just placed an order over the weekend because we have a fun virtual demonstrator event coming up this month. My buddy Penny's supposed to come down and hang out with me so we can stamp together. And so I ordered the suite that we're using for that, which is a surprise because it will be in the next mini catalog. So we get to order it like way early. And there we go. There are our 3 cards just whipped together so fast, right? I mean, it's literally 7:21 and I jabber-jawed for a while before we started, didn't I? All right, so I do have another sample to show you, but I will say, remember when I said, okay, I have 3 pieces, you know, layers of paper, right? So I'm going to make sure I cut it into 3 pieces. Well, if you take 4, you can cut that into 4 pieces, but I accidentally used only 3 and decided to cut it into 4 pieces. So this is what happens when you do that. You have to double up a couple of them, right? Which is fine. But I absolutely loved how these turned out. This is with the celebratory Sips designer paper that goes with the Cheers and Sips stamp set and everything that we've been using the heck out of with those cute little glasses and all the garnishes. Absolutely love that suite. That's another suite. It's an online only. Doesn't that look cool? I mean, this paper alone is so freaking fun. I love it. So, yeah. So, and I think what I've kind of decided is that you should pull out one paper that's busier and then grab some that are kind of more support players, right? You know, background actors, if you will. So I grabbed this very busy fruit garnish paper and then grabbed a couple of the more solid geometric patterns to go with that. And then if you'll notice, I stamped my happy birthday and I literally I put it on there with dimensionals and then took those snips and just cut right along that same kind of line so that it mimicked the diagonal cut of everything. A few blings and we were all done. So how cool is that technique? Is this something you're going to try? Because I got to tell you, I am loving it. Absolutely. And I forgot to do the inside of my cards. Do I have? Yeah. But this is what I did with the samples. So I just took that same green leafy paper, cut a little strip there, and popped it on in the middle. So I'll finish those up off camera. So they're all ready to go. But yeah, these would be great when you're making multiples. So if you're making thank you cards for, you know, a birthday or a shower or something like that, if you are making a stack of like birthday or all occasion cards as a gift, fabulous idea. I'm telling you, people use them. They love them. Or if you're doing holiday cards, wedding invitations, all sorts of things like this. See? Penny is all over this, she says. She needs to make a bunch of cards as a gift. I'm telling you, it's one of the best gifts people ever receive. They love them. So, yeah, fabulous. All right. Well, that is all I have for you tonight. Supply list link, as always, is in the description. You can purchase everything I've shown you here and on the Shop Me link, and measurements will be in this week's newsletter. So that's all I've got for tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. If you've picked up some inspiration or a couple of tips, tag your bestie in the comments or share the video with them so that they can get a little inspiration too. Until next week, I'm still Nan Gerlitz. Happy stamping.